about the different pieces of Cyber Patriot. So Cyber Patriot is a K through 12 program, but we also have a senior citizen program, like I alluded to. So the K through 12 piece is K through 5. They have free video games for kids to download and parents and teachers to download that teaches them cyber awareness and cybersecurity, but they think they're playing video games and they're having a fun doing it. And so it sort of eases them into cybersecurity and what they need to know to protect themselves and keep themselves safe. And then when they get into middle school and high school, it becomes a game and a competition, and it's a virtual competition. So that makes it less barriers, right? We don't have to have bake sales in order to get them in a bus and get them traveling all over the country. It's a national competition that meets and has competitions monthly from October until March. And it's all virtual until you go to finals, and the finals just happen in March. We just had that go through on the 18th and the 20th, where they actually were flown in, and again, no cost to them. They get flown in, and to sponsor a team, it's only $205 to sponsor a high school team and $165 to sponsor a middle school team. Very low entry to barrier. You only need 2 computers. I like to say 3 computers, because you have one that has the game that has the Microsoft operating system on it, one that has a game with Linux operating system on it, and then you're going to want to have one or more computers in the room to do research, right? So if they find a vulnerability that they don't know how to deal with, it's an open book test. They get to go on the internet, find the solution, and then go ahead and do it. They have a 6-hour window to open up their competition, and they also get to pick the day that they do that. They have a long weekend that they can do it, so they can do it Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Another thing that's really cool for them, right? Because if it works out that it's Friday during class, or if it's Saturday or Sunday, but it's a 6-hour window, they open it up, they do their mission, they close it up after 6 hours, and then they're scored nationally. And again, like I said, the top 28 teams went head to head last week, and the results are in about who the national finalists are for that program. But the piece that hooks into with what you do, actually the both do, right? So the whole program hooks into what Comcast has been doing by providing internet to the digital divide. The other piece was that senior piece, where again, just like the K through 5, you can download the games. For the senior citizens, they have a Cyber Gen program that you can just download, and it can either be self-taught, the senior can walk through it, or someone can teach it to them. So like we have kids that take it to senior citizen places and deliver the course, or they can just take it themselves. And it's perfectly free and it's downloadable. So it's already been put together. There's already slides. It's already all there in a bag. Plus, you can also get certified to teach it as well. So that's another nice little thing, because people can have that little credential from AFA. So that's the Air Force Association that put this together. 14 years ago, we're going to go into the year 15 this year. So we're pretty excited about that. And we're growing. We took a little bit of a hit during the COVID years in Michigan, but we're back up and we're starting to continue to grow. Although I've got to say, nationals happened last week, and there wasn't not one team from the Midwest. Not gonna stand for it.
We gotta fix that.
That's it. That could be the Xfinity Comcast team could win it all next year.
The gauntlet has been thrown. Yes, right. So.
Yes,
absolutely. Out of these top, there's top 15 teams that went head to head. So we had 14 from California and 1 from Texas. I am not.
Oh boy.
I am not.
We can't be having them Southerners win. We just can't have that. So, do you happen to have a copy of your manual that you can throw up on the screen? Because I have it on multiple share now.
You mean now?
I probably. Oh, you can hold it up. Okay, that still works. I won't talk here. Go ahead. You have to talk, otherwise the camera doesn't come to you.
Okay, well, here it is. So I finally have a copy of my own book. Yay! It took forever for our copies to come, but we have our copy of our book. And we wrote this book because of doing this work, right, Rob? So across the state, I've been working for the last 8 years to try to build up success stories in school districts across the state. And what we kept running into was folks that are IT teachers, very, very few actually have IT background. And those that do have IT background are pretty much worried about, just sort of staying on top of what they've got. And then when you ask them to start worrying about cybersecurity, they kind of get a little nervous, because most of them don't have background in it, right? So most of them like maybe put their Facebook page together for their school, or they were the youngest, newest hire, so they were just assumed that they had more experience in that area. Tag, you're it, right?
Right.
And so, I mean, I was just amazed at how little they're supported and how little they have to work with, and yet they keep getting new wickets thrown in front of them, right? So they have to keep adding more STEM, more IT, more cybersecurity. It keeps getting put down on them that from on down on high that they've got to do this. They've got to work this into their really tight, curriculums as it is, but with no actual, here's the way to go, right? Here's what you need to teach. Here's some things that you can use as resources. None of that stuff's available. And so I got kind of frustrated. My husband is a book writing machine, and writes all these books about standards and cybersecurity. This will be book 15. And I basically said he had just finished one about the higher education standards. And I said, I need that for my high school teachers, but I need it to be not a book about standards so that it's so piled high and deep. I don't need that. I need it to be very understandable. And I need them to be able to have the tools that they need in order to be able to teach this in the middle school and high school level, and even further down if possible. And so we came together and we wrote this book to make sure that they had those resources. So it has, whole pages of resources. It has exercises, and it breaks down that pathway between middle school, high school, and then on to higher education, so that you can see that nice connection with what they're going to need when they go up, and what can be taught down in the lower levels. And so, and it's a conversational book, so it's not hard to digest, right?
And it costs how much again? Is it $40 or $50?
40 for the soft cover, and the one that I held up, and also it's also digital, so it's on Amazon. Our folks, our publisher, CRC Press, has also got it on their website as well. But the point is to get this in the hands of all the middle school and high school teachers. Hands. And now that I've got my books, I've been sending it to a bunch of influencers at the state and local and national level to try to see if we can't get this book picked up. And also, I'd love for everybody who's out there in the community to buy books and bring them to the community and give them to them. I've already been giving out some for free as I'm running into people as well. I was trying to kind of take the money that I still have left over from when the state of Michigan supported me and try to buy as many as I can with the money is left to disseminate it out to the teachers that I know for sure are already doing the work.
And once again, the title of that book, please.
No,
it's a long one.
Remember, my husband is from higher education, so it's not going to be easy. Teaching cybersecurity, that part's easy, right?
Teaching cybersecurity. Okay.
Right, that part's easy. A handbook for teaching the cybersecurity body of knowledge in a conventional classroom.
Okay.
Wow, huh? And what probably happens is whoever the science teachers are at a high school gets stuck with teaching cybersecurity. And this person may or may not know much about cybersecurity. The principal said I have to do this, so let's give it a shot, right? So
correct. And that's what happened to the two characters in the book. So it's a conversation between a high school teacher, a middle school teacher, and a fuzzy-headed academic that's trying to teach them what they can integrate into their curriculum without too much trouble.
Yeah.
Of course, that fuzzy-headed academic is modeled after the hubby. So
yeah, I kind of thought that,
Apparently, which I did not know. I had to tell you this. I did not know this until this weekend when my illustrator pointed out that the middle school teacher was modeled after me, and I did not know that until this weekend.
You couldn't tell, huh? Okay. All right.
And you had a comment about your background. One of the students designed your background there, right?
Yes, they did. We had a high school student do all of our illustrations. And so, like I said, I heard from him this weekend that he had modeled it after one of his high school teachers, an actual IT teacher that he thought was amazing, and me and Dan, just because we were hanging out. He used our likeness. It's like, all right. Thankfully, he knocked a couple pounds off of me. I mean, it was like, if that's how you see me, I'm good.
All right.
Let's,
So something I've been curious about is who is funding the Cyber Patriot program, and if people would like to get involved and help, who do they contact?
So that would be, so right now we have no funding, right? So we were funded for the first couple of years by the state of Michigan. And I got to tell you that I really squirreled that money away. And like I said, I'm just now going to use the very last of it. And it's been 4 years, going on 5 years that we've had any funding coming in from them. I've gotten some corporate funding along the way here and there a little bit, but not enough to actually support the program like we did in the beginning. In the beginning, we were able to throw a state award ceremony. DTE helped us for quite a while. Some other folks helped us for a while, but we've kind of had folks have moved on, right? So the people who were championing things have moved on, and so we really don't have big sponsorships now. But we still would like to have our award ceremony this year. We'd still like to do summer camps in the summer. All of those things. And again, I'd also like to buy one of these books. I can get them at cost, so that's cool, right? And get them over to the teachers. And also any of the proceeds from this, by the way, we're just turning right back around, buying more books and getting them in the hands of the teachers, because it wasn't about that. It's about getting this.
So no Maserati in your future then, right?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't sure. So.
My husband already, he said he's been writing textbooks for forever and they're never profitable, so he just doesn't care. Even though this one's kind of a lot more popular than his. Shh, don't tell him that. Let's not let him listen to this.
No, I won't send it to him. So the other thing too, now real quick, you only got a couple minutes left. Summer camps. So he's going to do summer camps this summer?
If we get some sponsors. And, again, that's another thing that's not real expensive to put on. The AFA has been is wonderful, right? There's low barriers. So for $1,100, I can do a Cyber Patriot summer camp, and I can have as many iterations as I want. Now, that's just the cost for the actual materials. Obviously, there's, you got to buy, the hay and feed bill for teenage kids, that kind of thing.
Groceries alone on that, that's a couple $1,000, right?
Right. But we need sponsors in order to do that. And that's how the word gets out. That's how most kids, it's very funny because when we hold those camps, the kids afterwards, instead of it being a lot of the summer camps that get them excited about this field, they don't have anything to do afterwards. And then they're always saying, well, I want to start a team in my neighborhood. And I'm like, well, that might have been the reason I held the camp. I'm just, this is between you and me, but yeah, that was the intended thing, is to get this started in more areas and get everybody into the game.
Okay. Any other points you want to make here?
The person who wrote the foreword on my book said, become a cyber champion in your community by helping out.
Okay. So now that you got everybody all slathered up, how do they get the book? How do they reach out to you? How do they do all this stuff?
So Amazon, real easy, Tamara Shoemaker and cybersecurity, and the book will pop right up. Teaching cybersecurity. And then I have MITechNews.com is our website where you can go to see all the things that we're doing in the state of Michigan and Cyber Patriot.
Okay. Matt?
And then if you want to volunteer to be a mentor, you do that on the national website, which is uscyberpatriot.org.
Okay.
All right.